Chordale Booker and Juan DeAngel, and we mentioned that Booker at just the age of, well, he's 7-0 and 13-0, with the knockouts. DeAngel has been fighting for nearly a decade or so, coming from Colombia at age 33. To our ring announcer, the Hall of Famer, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you, and we welcome you to Barclays Center here in Brooklyn, New York, as Premier Boxing Champions presents a prelude to our big night of action. It's Fox PBC Fight Night, the prelims on FS1. Tonight's action, ladies and gentlemen, is brought to you courtesy of Brooklyn Boxing and sponsored by MGM Resorts. At this time, we present fighters ready in the ring in the super welterweight division. Introducing to you our three judges scoring the bout from ringside. We have Kevin Morgan, Anthony Paolillo, and Waleska Roldan. All right, fans, here we go. 8 rounds of boxing in the super welterweight division. Introducing to you first on my left, fighting out of the red corner, wearing red trunks, hailing from Barranquilla, Colombia. He weighed in at 155 3/4 pounds. His record, 21 wins, 9 losses, and 1 draw, with 19 big wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome the hard-hitting Juan, La Amenaza DeAngel. And his opponent across the ring on my right, he is fighting out of the blue corner in this 8-round attraction, wearing camouflage trunks, hailing from Stamford, Connecticut. He weighed in at 157 1/2 pounds. He is undefeated in his campaign to the ring with a record of 13 wins, no losses, 7 wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome the undefeated Chordale, the Gift Booker. And referee in charge now to give instructions, Al Lobianco.
Gentlemen, New York State Athletic Commission rules are in effect tonight, and I've given you instructions in your dressing room. You both know what I expect from both of you. I want you to protect yourself at all times. I want you to listen to my commands during the course of the bout. Now touch gloves. Good luck to both of you.
Quick recap on the rules. 10-point must system. These are the unified rules. Winner of each round gets 10 points. The loser of the round gets 9 or less. No 3 knockdown rule. Fighter cannot be saved by the bell, including in that last round. And we'll be watching closely. And let's do this. Last fight for Booker, a first-round knockout. That was in Charlotte back in November. Before that, he won an 8-round split decision. That was here at Barclays, and that was the longest fight of his career. This scheduled for 8. Nicknamed the Gift, the translation for Juan DeAngel, and his nickname the Threat.
And Chris, I was going to mention, Booker is a little bit of a late bloomer. He didn't turn pro until he was 24 years old, and he's been fighting very often the past 3 years. He's had 5 fights in 18, 4 the year before, and 4 the year before that, which is a pretty good clip. So, you know, he's really been active, which is a good thing.
First pro fight was back in 2015. Booker expected to win, but you just have to let it just be decided in the ring.
Yeah, and DeAngel is a real seasoned veteran, you know, and he's fought quite a few southpaws, so he knows what he's doing against the southpaw.
This is the 7th fight in the U.S. for DeAngel. This is his first here at Barclays. Who said it's just another venue to him. He's glad to be here, but it doesn't matter the surroundings. It's the fighter he's worried about. And he should be worried with the 7 knockouts of Booker.
Now, I've trained quite a few southpaws myself, and the first thing I see DeAngel doing is he's staying on top of the jab of Booker, which is a smart thing, because that way you stop Booker from getting the reach on you and the distance and the timing. And then he's knocking that jab down, going with the right hand of the body. So he knows what he's doing.
With Joe Goosen, Lennox Lewis, Chris Myers live here on FS1. Lennox, you didn't really enjoy fighting southpaws lefties, did you?
you asked me how many southpaws I boxed, you wouldn't guess.
I would say one.
None.
None. Okay.
No southpaws.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I sparred a couple.
Yeah, you had an Olympics. You certainly had to prepare, or at least you sparred.
Well, you know, I knew what to do against the southpaw. Just go after him and pressure him and just throw my right hand continuously.
Well, that's the age-old adage, is to use a right hand against a southpaw, but, you know, it depends on what hand you really use well. And it may not be a right hand, it may be a left hook.
There's something from the left. Booker with a duck and a miss from DeAngel.
And there's the right hand you were talking about right there.
Yep.
DeAngel
Shot to the body.
I used a straight right hand, and I don't think that was a low blow, but it was a nice shot to the breadbasket from Booker.
Just above the belt.
Now remember, it's below the belt, not on the belt.
Scheduled for 8. A sizing up opening round as we start round 2. Juan DeAngel and Chordale Booker. Super welterweight bout scheduled for 8. Not much action in that opening round.
Well, DeAngel is doing the right thing. He's keeping that jab moving. He's keeping his feet moving, and he's giving him different angles right now, which is important.
Well, I thought it was interesting when we talked to Booker. He was beaming when we brought up epic sparring sessions with Jared Hurd, saying that he stood his ground well there.
And that's no easy guy to stand your ground with, Jared Hurd. Let me tell you, he's a monster for a 54-pounder. But right here, DeAngel, he is landing that right hand. He's getting it in there. He's using a good jab. He's circling to the right of Booker, and he's actually making Booker think and work for his positioning. Booker's not really landing right now because DeAngel's moving so well.
Booker's warming up, as you can tell. You know, he needs a couple punches in the head to warm him up, it seems like.
There's a left from Booker. Again, punches thrown one thing, punches landed another.
That's right.
There's an exchange there. DeAngel had Booker backing up and ducking.
And Booker definitely needs to move that head a little bit more. It's got it a little bit straight up.
Left touching the head from DeAngel.
And Booker's, he's following him around right now. He should be cutting off the ring and moving that head a little bit more.
And the bad spot for DeAngel is
there's a left from Booker.
Yeah, he should stay off those ropes. Use the center of the ring, keep circling. That's where he's doing well. That's right hand by
Left, the rising left-hander, his 4th appearance here at Barclays from Booker. An exchange has the crowd up.
And what's really important, when you step into the ring, you gotta have a little bit of warmth. You gotta warm up a little bit. DeAngel had a little bit of sweat on him. Booker didn't. So as you can see, he's taking these rounds to warm up.
And inside of 20 seconds here in round 2. On the defensive is Booker. Gloves up, a body shot.
And DeAngel just ripped off like an 8-punch combination, which, Booker took.
If anything in that first round, if not even maybe Booker, who had the best of it in the second round.
Yeah, we're going to watch a good right-hand jab, and look at the effect of it on his ears.
Round 2, later in the round, we saw DeAngel become maybe a bit more aggressive enough to take that round. What about the jab, Alex, from what you're seeing so far early in this bout?
Well, he needs to double it up a little bit more, and he's definitely throwing it with authority.
Yeah, Booker's coming out a little bit stronger this round. DeAngel threw a good right hand and Booker hooked him with a good right hook as a counter. And now he's starting to get to DeAngel a little bit, and he better pick up the pace because he thought he lost the last round.
And DeAngel has knocked out a couple of lefties. He's fought well when he has gone up against southpaws. There's some movement into the corner. DeAngel is backed up by Booker. There's a left that lands by Booker. is looking strong here, moving DeAngel around. He's trying to get out of the corner.
Booker's coming in with some powerful shots.
Some body shots. A right that landed from Booker. An uppercut from Booker.
You can best believe that Booker was told in the corner he had just landed a nice straight left hand to get on the stick and get working because he lost that last round. This corner obviously saw that.
Well, he's definitely warming up in the fight, and he's looking a lot better than he looked in the first round.
First or second round for that matter, right?
Yeah.
Lennox, you pointed out the amount of, I mean, fighters are going to sweat as the fight goes on, but early on for DeAngel, the amount of sweat, what does that indicate compared to Booker?
Well, that indicates he came out warm. He was warming up in the dressing room, and he came in with a good sweat.
Good defense from Booker, excuse me. A clinch and then a left out of that from Booker.
You know how I respond to that ever so often? People say, yeah, he came out dry. I said, what if they wiped him off with a towel before he came out? Maybe he had sweat in the locker room, you know? You never know. But I think your point is well taken.
When you're a great athlete and you've been training often, it's really easy to sweat. So a couple punches on the mitts, you warm up really easy.
Solid right a moment ago from Booker. He's doing a little bit of showboating here. Oh, and DeAngel responds to that.
Got hit with two right hands and a left hook.
A little bit of mocking here, some teasing going on in the left. A couple of lefts from the lefty and then a right. DeAngel takes it, a body shot. Jab to the chest.
Some boxers actually do that to warm themselves up. They like to get themselves in the danger zone, put their hands down and
do a little shimmy.
Yeah, do a little shimmy.
Yeah, a little emotional firing up. McEnroe used to talk a lot, throw his racket to fire himself up. Inside of 10 seconds here, round 3, scheduled for 8. Each round, the action is picked up. As DeAngel, that's Booker, moving back after 3. Start around 4 live here at Barclays. Action picking up. You would just say that Booker's slightly ahead, Joe Goosen, as the action is picking up.
Well, one thing's for sure, Booker had a much better round last round, and by virtue of that straight left hand, he landed several of those in the last round. And the expression on DeAngel's face is a little less confident as he was a few rounds earlier.
Yeah, we saw that showboating.
Those were all missed punches right there.
And if you showboat, you still got to throw punches. You can't just showboat and not throw any punches in there.
You might make the judges mad at you doing that, right, Lennox?
All right, I mentioned before, Joe, punches thrown, punches landed, and most important, those that connect. And Booker, the advantage here is we're in round 4.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's what I said. He had a much better round. He landed several more punches than DeAngel did in the last round.
But a knockout punch can change everything.
Well, of course. And he's got 7 knockouts. That's a 50-50 record in terms of knockouts, basically. But you can tell he's heavy-handed. So Booker's got a good shot if he can wear DeAngel down to knock him out in the later rounds.
And Booker's got more effective punches in there. When he throws a punch, it's more effective, and he's coming with a lot more power.
You can hear it, right? You can hear him.
Yes.
I mean, judges scoring, they look for clean punches, effective punches, along with defense. Greenmanship, if you want to call it that, defense. Have you seen either of these more aggressive than the other? Would you say Booker?
Well, Booker's become the aggressor. I thought it was earlier on that DeAngel was boxing, but he was aggressive with the combinations he was throwing. But right now, Booker, I think, has got a sense of urgency. He wants to make sure that the judges see that he's winning each round now from here on. Right there.
Larry Hazard, rules expert, Hall of Famer, former referee and judge himself, who is ringside with us. He is scoring this, and unofficially the way he has it. Well, look how close. And Larry, you have Booker slightly ahead, maybe closer than what our analysts think.
Well, Booker has taken charge again. In the last round, DeAngel had came on there. I had him even, but Booker came back. So Booker's back in charge now. He's warmed up, and I think that he's establishing himself now. He's got more confidence. He's coming forward. He's coming in behind the jab, and he's doing well.
That's the scoring unofficially so far from Larry Hazard, just about halfway through this fight. The first fight of 3 on FS1, 3 more on Fox. And in the corner, DeAngel responds to some shots Great body shot.
Booker did it with a great body shot. He's going to come across with that right hook in a minute.
Mouthpiece comes out of Booker, but yeah, it was DeAngel that took that shot from Chordale Booker.
You got to remember the strong hand on the southpaw is his left hand, and the liver sits on the right side of DeAngel, and that's exactly what got hit. Got hit with the uppercut right to the liver. But Booker's mouthpiece came out surprisingly.
And the referee making sure Al Bianco.
Time in.
15 seconds remaining in round 4.
The wrong place for DeAngel was in that corner, and that's where he got hurt. He's got to stay in the center of the ring and keep moving.
You're listening to trainer Joe Goosen, former undisputed heavyweight champ of the world, Lennox Lewis, Chris Myers, live here on FS1. Start of round 5, and Booker, a closer look, landing, had the ears flapping of Juan DeAngel.
That's the first time I've ever seen that.
Well, slow-mo helps. Yeah, the ears moving like that. Now this was, it looked like he spit the mouthpiece out, and you'll get a warning there. You're allowed no more than 2 of those if you want to slow down the action.
And that's if the referee sees it. And the referee didn't see it at that time. And I don't even know why he spit out his mouthpiece.
He wasn't the one that was hurt.
Yes.
Yeah, our Larry Hazard saw it ringside and pointed that out. When you say you never saw that, what you talk about the kind of punch or the way the ears were moving?
No, the ears. That's it, right?
Yeah, it's a reaction from getting hit. Usually you see sweat come off a guy's head, but never the ears flapping.
Well, you hear the expression, my ears are ringing. And those were coming off the hook.
Well, it's a solid punch landing, and the reverberation from the punch.
And really, you're watching live, you couldn't see the impact until we showed you the replay, which is why we're here to bring you closer to the action in the ring. It looks like that right eye, or just below it of Booker, is somewhat bruised. We'll keep a close look.
DeAngel's doing the right thing. He's starting to move and circle, which he was having success with early on in the fight. The minute he sits in this corner here or sits on the rope, he's going to start getting hit with heavy shots from Booker like that.
And that was a solid left again from the southpaw. And DeAngel told us that he was going to look for a knockout early, but we're already in the 5th round. And
he's being affected by those body punches, and they're affecting him, and he's showing it too.
Well, he almost went down from that right hook to the body. It wasn't. The first one was a left to the body. This one was a right hand to the body that doubled him over, and Booker laid off of him for some reason.
Yeah, then Booker kind of moved him over.
And he's doing nothing to stop Booker. Booker can come straight forward, and he's coming forward with his power punches.
And Lennox, those power punches, look what has been landed, the percentage here by Booker, who had the upper hand in this fight.
Well, especially the last couple rounds, but I'm going to tell you, a couple good more body shots, and this fight could be over by DeAngel. I think if he goes down again for a body shot, he may not get up.
Well, Booker's going to try to get close to him to hit him to the body and then bring it upstairs, because he knows he can hurt him to the body.
Uppercut by Booker.
DeAngel is doing nothing to...
That was like a low right that was below the belt. There's another left that has DeAngel moving. Right in front of us. There's the clinch. The referee will separate them.
Lennox, would you say sometimes body shots hurt more than a shot to the face? I mean,
well, you know, with some boxers, they're tough to the head, so it's hard to hurt them to the head. If you hit them to the body, that's where they're usually weak, and vice versa.
There's a right that lands for Booker. I guess it depends, Lennox, what kind of body you have, too.
Yeah, if you've worked and toughened up your body. Sometimes when you have to lose weight, that makes you weak as well to the body.
Yeah, and remember, DeAngel fought in September at 180 pounds. And he said that really shouldn't have happened. He should have done that.
That's a massive weight loss from just a few months back.
Yeah, here we're a lot less than that. It is a super welterweight. And a good...
It's a nice snake hook out there. It's all Booker right now. And DeAngel's just he's got him on the run.
Booker in control of this fight. Scheduled for 8.
Make him shoot over.
We're live here ringside at Barclays, and there is a look at the guy leading the fight, Chordale Booker.
Yeah, this is Booker taking one in the eye. But he came back to the body punch. Good body punches really affected his opponent.
You know, he said even though he's a lefty, he said his go-to punch was his right hand.
And the right hand actually hit DeAngel on the liver side, which is unusual. Usually it lands on the other side.
You got him?
Well, Booker, you got to like a guy who brings his mother to our chats, our pre-fight discussions when we get ready. We get to meet with the fighters and talk about what's on their mind and go over their training and their approach. And she was sitting right next to him, talking about how his skill set improved, especially when he fought in those sparring sessions with her. He said it taught him about inside fighting, something he wanted to improve on.
Well, and he showed it there. The closer he got to DeAngel, the better he was doing. So right now, DeAngel's, if he's smart, he'll stay in the center of the ring, stay off the ropes, and keep boxing.
DeAngel trying to use that reach to his advantage.
Yeah, but Booker's closing the space on him. He wants to get him against the ropes so he can throw those body punches.
And he wants to knock him out. I think he's looking for a knockout.
He is looking for the knockout.
Well, we've got 2 rounds after this one. DeAngel talked about that velocity in his punches. He was hoping that would show the speed. But he hasn't landed many.
Well, he landed a good right hand off the ropes, and then Booker came back with 2-3 good punches here. It's really taking the starch out of
He's out to the corner, Joe. There goes Booker. A flurry of punches.
He's looking for the knockout, that's for sure, when he gets him trapped.
DeAngel doesn't like those body punches.
Don't see any, he's not marked up on the body. Considering the amount of punches, here goes
There's
Booker.
another one.
He's on his way going right now.
Yeah,
He's leaning now. He's looking weak and wobbly. Now he bounces out of it. We'll see if DeAngel can hang in there. The threat is being threatened. This round, when you look at total punches, and 50% more, or I should say, maybe 15-20% more by Booker.
What Booker needs to do, after throwing body punches, he needs to bring it up to the head, because what's his name, takes DeAngel takes his body punches, puts his hands down, and leaves his face open.
DeAngel back to the corner. Booker with a right, then another right. There's the left.
I don't think the corner or the referee is going to let this go on much longer if DeAngel keeps taking this type of punishment. He's really getting raked over the coals right now, even though he's fighting back a little bit.
Yeah, DeAngel's had 3 10-round decisions in his career. One of them was a loss to Caleb Plant, who just won the title, the IBF Super Middleweight champ. You saw that on FS1 a couple of weeks ago.
Of course. And, you know, and he's a very good fighter as well, Caleb Plant.
Juan DeAngel from Colombia, coming in with a 21-9-1 record, 19 knockouts. They need one in this, scheduled for 8, and we're completing round 6. You're watching Premier Boxing Champions on FS1. DeAngel Booker, his fight to win, the way our analysts see it. We'll check back with Larry Hazard on the unofficial scoring as well. Booker has the edge in punches that have landed in the last couple of rounds, those that have connected.
Well, you know, it's been all Booker, but if I'm in the corner right now, I'm telling him you cannot let this guy last. You know, you've got to take him out. And when the guy tries to grab you and tie you up, don't let him. Don't let him grab you and tie you up.
Even though DeAngel Lennox has looked shaky, he's hung in there, and over his career, he has suffered 4 knockouts.
DeAngel looks like he's lost a lot of weight for this fight. You know, when they say he gains 20 pounds, you know, I think he belongs in the higher weight class.
Yeah, then he had to shed that weight for this bout.
He's taking hard hooks, hard body shots. The referee's looking very closely right now.
Unofficial scorecard. Booker through 6 rounds, slightly ahead. Wait, if you're watching this fight, it looks worse than that.
Well, it does, and it could look even worse if Booker really let his hands go instead of going 2 and 3, go 4, 5, and 6.
I agree with you. If Booker really steps it up, he can get rid of him right now.
Well, it's one thing to win a fight. It's another thing to dominate or win it in a fashion that wows people. Booker has to take care of part A first, and he appears to be doing that. Those effective punches, the landed punches, the most important as Booker dips. That can sometimes mislead you because all you can do is change this in one punch. But in this case, I would say this statistic is on target.
Without a doubt. I mean, look, it's been all Booker for the past 3-4 rounds, and right now he's got DeAngel cornered again, and this is the dangerous spot for DeAngel. But surprisingly, he keeps fighting back.
Yeah, you got to give him credit for his toughness, duration, defense. Yeah, there was it. Oh, he's in trouble here. He goes down. Chordale Booker landed the punch, and now standing up, DeAngel.
7, 8. Tap your gloves 3 times. Gloves, tap. Over here.
Well, he doesn't understand English,
Okay.
and so he's having a hard time figuring out.
He's going to hang in there. Can he hang in there for 20 seconds of round 7? Scheduled for 8.
You got to go right back to the well. Would put him down. You got to go right back to the body. He shouldn't be waiting.
Booker's moving in on him.
DeAngel is on survival mode right now.
Well, he is surviving the landed punches of Chordale Booker, who doesn't connect on that one. The body shots have had an impact for Booker, trying to improve to 14-0. Lennox.
And here's some of the body shots that really paid off for Booker. Here it goes.
Again, right under the liver.
Right under the liver. That liver punch is really being effective in this fight.
Let's listen into the corner here.
Look, turn your knuckles over like this, and then just right to the body, right? And then what you finish with, the cross to the body, all right? But give yourself space, right?
When you measuring, that measuring, open that up. When you measuring, sometimes give them the fast shot, the pop, and then go back to measuring, right? And then pick your shots hard. And give them a step back, too. One of these, like, look, pop, step back in.
You see how when you step back, you open up that space? Come on, baby. Bring it
I'd
home,
say
right?
the theme
Bring
in
it home, be
Booker's
smart,
corner
right?
right there is get to the body. I mean, it's obvious. It's what's putting DeAngel down, and
And
they're encouraging it.
If I was in his corner, I would say, start it off with a jab, go to the body, and then bring it up to the head.
Last round, so last opportunity for Booker to take DeAngel out. If I were in the corner, I'd be a little disappointed if Booker didn't, if he was my fighter, didn't take DeAngel out, considering he's had him down 3-4 times already.
I agree with that.
And DeAngel just trying to hang in there. Booker, a 2-time New York Metro champion, 3-time New York boxing champ. He was the Connecticut Boxing Hall of Fame Amateur of the Year in 2015.
Ooh, it was a great right hook, left uppercut.
Showing his professionalism tonight against a tough out.
And he is, look, Booker's got a lot of talent, and I think he can go places. He's very talented.
And he is showing no signs of letting up. He looks strong here in the 8th round.
Booker's walking in, he's trying to stop him. He's going in there and he wants to land that body punch.
All right, if you're in DeAngel's spot, Lennox, what do you have left other than surviving?
Well, I was looking for these philosophy punches that he was talking about. I didn't see one in this fight. But what I would tell him move, keep your hands up, elbows in, so you don't get those body punches.
Yeah, for a fighter with 19 knockouts to his credit, DeAngel hasn't come close to that tonight. To the body. But there's a shot to the side of the head of Booker by DeAngel, but did not look like it was solid.
No, but he threw a triple hook. The bottom line is he's still fighting back, which, is what you want in a fight. The guy doesn't have quit in him.
Yeah, but there's the punches are not effective. They're really pitter-patter punches. So
they're
not going to stop him. They're not going to stop Booker. And Booker's just marching in there like he is and making an easy time with it.
He was leading.
But my point is
No
that
rest,
he's
Booker,
still
okay?
fighting
Nice
back.
and clean.
He's fighting back.
He's fighting back.
He's fighting back.
And I give credit for hanging in there, because maybe a round or two, DeAngel won, and it was more like a survival round. Oh, he landed on the chin of Booker. Looked like a left that connected there.
Booker has to be careful when he's coming in, throwing those shots. And he has to make sure that picks up his hands and looks at defense. Nobody wants to get that shot all of a sudden in your head.
I just think at this point Booker's not feeling any of the punches that DeAngel's landing. And he landed, DeAngel's landed 3 or 4 right hands, right up against the left hook.
What does DeAngel have left in the final 25 seconds as he leans in on Booker?
Let him out.
He shouldn't let Booker shouldn't let him walk.
What should he
back.
do there?
Well, you got to get
push
rough.
him off.
You got to push him off and use your forearms and
Go for the shots.
Yeah.
Booker trying to stay undefeated. And from our point of view, Booker's fight, he's still doing the shimmy. 8 rounds scheduled and 8 rounds completed in this super welterweight bout.
Well,
Joe Goosen.
listen, right here, this is what Booker's been doing for the past 3-4 rounds. Putting the pressure on, going to the body, and sitting DeAngel down.
It's Booker's fight live here on FS1, and Chordale Booker as DeAngel misses. Booker does not. That's how most of the night went. Booker tried.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 8 rounds of action, the judges are in agreement. Here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, Kevin Morgan, sees the bout 80-71. Judges Anthony Paolillo and Waleska Roldan both score the bout 79-72. All 3 in favor of the winner. And still undefeated, the gift, Chordale Booker.